there's a bit to go over now. I've left a day or so since the race. It's Wednesday. Yesterday weather was so good. I just went out and worked on my bike a little bit. Had to give it a clean and a bit of a once over. So my audio levels seem a bit high. Yeah, just one sec. Test. Okay. Spent the day in the sun, couple of beers. Decided not to record, and it's worked out for me. Sometimes it doesn't, but we've had news come in the last 24 hours, and we're going to go over that first before we get into all the racing and stuff from Aragon. And look, I'm going to keep it quick this week because yesterday wasted a day in terms of being able to record and edit. Not wasted in the sense that I just got to spend the day in the sun, but wasted a day in regards to producing the video. And I've got a really busy week of work coming up, so I'm going to have to get this done and finished today. So I'm going to keep it short. I'm going to skim over quite a bit in terms of the actual racing and keep this a quick, fast edit so I can get it done and out the way, and then go enjoy the sun again this afternoon because it's going to be an absolute corker in the north of England today, 26 degrees in Manchester, so I don't want to miss out on that. Before we start, we're very close to 800 subs. We've raced up to 790 something, and now we're crawling up to 800. I need 4 more at the time of recording, 4 more to get me over the line, so please help us out there. And let's crack on because the Toprak news has dropped yesterday. Yesterday afternoon, we got the Toprak news. It's Toprak to Pramaha. Tell me what you think of this. I'm assuming it's full factory support, everything, because this guy did not want... I mean, he could have been there 3 years ago if he just wanted the satellite ride. So, I'm assuming this is full factory support. They've promised him the world and a pathway to the factory team 27 on the Pirellis. So that's the big news that's dropped. It does leave us with a question and a situation around the second seat in that team. Jack Miller, the standout of the two, between him and Miguel Oliveira at the moment. Miguel, tough start to the season with his injury and stuff like that. He's kind of struggled a little bit since then. So it's an interesting one because I think he's on the 2-year deal, is he not? And Jack's only on the 1. So contractually, it has to be Miguel. I think they'll try and find their way around changing that. My feeling is they'll prefer to keep Jack, or if they go in a completely different direction and try and get rid of both, because there is some good riders on the table. So let's see how that plays out, because I mean, talk of Jack going to Superbikes, it's a very natural fit, you would think. I think maybe it might be the one where they try and move Miguel over and keep Jack. Just on performance, what you can extract from the bike, you will get more out of Jack by the look of it than Miguel, for another 12 months. So I hope Jack stays in the team, but again, I wouldn't be that disappointed to see him go to Superbikes and do well there, which I'm assuming he would. But let's see. And, with Oliveira, it's like, where do you sit with him? Because as much as it didn't seem that long ago, he was just like an emerging hot talent, next cab off the rank to get a big ride. And then all of a sudden it's like, is he retiring now? I don't get it. Anyway, into that, did see a report. Don't know if there's a lot to this, but my feeling is it's probably correct just based on logic, is Bastianini and Tech 3 looking at a way of both parties looking for a way out of that deal. I think it benefits both to just cut your ties there. So they'll try and get him out, and word is Aprilia is looking at Bastianini. Now, whether that's to go to partner Bez in an all-Italian factory lineup for the Italian team, Italian constructor, Italian manufacturer, I'd assume that's what they're looking at. Or is it to promote Agura and make Bastianini sort of pay his dues there first before he gets a factory ride at Trackhouse? My instinct is it's to go to the factory team. I think this makes sense. A proven race winner and former factory rider for Ducati. This would be a good get and a good move for both sides, I think. I can't see him going anywhere else. I think Honda's going to try and line up, obviously, Martin now. Toprak to Yamaha. Yeah, there's nowhere else to go, really. So that one makes sense. And just in some other rider news, and we're going to skip to Moto2 here for a second. Sergio Garcia has lost his ride at, is it MSI in Moto2? Now, this is a guy who, halfway through last season, was he leading the World Championship in Moto2? People angry that Jack got the ride in MotoGP ahead of him. And from that moment onward, I don't think he's really done anything at all. In saying that, did crash and have an injury. Now, is this the remnants of that, this poor form that's led to him losing his ride now? And it's a ride loss not for anything other than, from what I'm hearing, literally just performance. So they obviously think, well, you've had enough time to recover. What's going on? You're still not doing anything. They want to be at the front. The world champions. I mean, this is a fall from grace if I've ever seen one. It's actually a bit of a sad one because, like I said, less than 12 months ago, probably, he was the next big guy out of Moto2 looking at MotoGP ride, people thinking he was going to get the Pramac ride. And then as soon as he didn't get it, which culminated obviously with an injury, literally nothing's happened since then. So I was actually, at the time, I was one that was an advocate for Jack getting that ride over him, but I didn't think it would lead to this. And I didn't think it meant that I didn't, it's not that I didn't think he was good enough. It was that I thought Jack was a better option. That's turned out to be true. But this is a tough one. Where does he go from here, a kid like that? Couldn't go back to Moto3. To be honest, when you get dumped from a Moto2 team, I know that these guys get recycled a lot in Moto2 and stuff, so he'll maybe pop up somewhere else before the end of the season, but is this now just like he has to take another path? Like, does he go into the Superbike side of things and try and work his way up through there and get into World Superbikes? I don't know. Like, where do you go from here? Really tough one. Bit sad, actually. Now let's talk about the racing. MotoGP in Aragon. Marc did what we thought he was going to do. The only really thing I want to point out about this race, I mean, there was obviously a really random uptick in form for KTM, which I found strange. I say uptick in form. They've had a rider near the front at some point this season, but this was like all of them pretty much looking pretty decent. Like, just quick throughout the weekend. It was, I don't know if it's just something about that circuit. The grip levels, I think they said the grip levels were low, which sort of equalised things a little bit for them. And they do have riders who are good in those situations. And I don't like, the test is on post-race. It's not like they went to a test and found something, and they are testing like a very Ducati looking front fairing by the look of it in Aragon after that race. So, I mean, is there something there? Probably not, but we'll see how we go at where are we going next? Mugello? So we'll see how we go there. And they do have a quick bike, top end speed. Maybe this was a long straight. Mugello's got a long straight. Maybe we'll see something else from them there as well. Maybe Pedro will have a crack there for a podium too. He finished fourth. It was a great race for him. And they're competitive in the sprint too. So Bagnaia we'll just briefly touch on because he had a really poor sprint. They changed the brake rotor, give him a bigger brake rotor for the race, and he was much better and finished third. 2 seconds off the lead, which I think he'll just take at this point. So there's something going on there. The balance of the front end of that bike is different from what he's used to and adding more mass. Is it just more weight to the front that's doing that he's more comfortable with? It's a bigger rotor, or is it something to do with the way the brakes feel? Is that where the bigger rotor's helped him? Or is it a weight thing? I don't know. I'm not that technical on it, but someone in the comments no doubt will let me know about that. And that's why I ask the questions. I need to know. I've got to learn, And just on the race, on the Grand Prix, Alex Marquez, tell me what you made of his race, because this is a race where when Marc goes past him, I want to say, did he go past him, or am I thinking of the sprint? Was he in front at some point, or is that the sprint? But the way it happened, it was very much like when you watch Formula One and it's like, well, that's not my race. So off he goes, and I'm not going to waste my time fighting him. That's what it felt like. Is this one of those things where Alex does get criticism when it comes to fighting Marc, where it's just like he's just the submissive in that brother relationship, and it's just like he bows down to the superior brother, possibly? Or is it one where it's like, I'm not beating him today anyway. You don't beat Marc at Aragon. So what's the point? Like, why scrap and potentially throw it down the road and lose more points and just take your medicine here and then come back at Mugello and see if you can scrap with him? Is that what's happening? Would you like to see him have a go there? Because it's completely true on evidence that circuits this year, the only times Marc's come unstuck really are when he's 100% people like he's winning this race by a mile and he finds himself in a bit of scrap, or he loses a bit of ground at the start or something, and he feels like, well, I'm the best here. I need to make that ground up quickly, and he makes mistakes. They're the only times he's made mistakes this year, really. So if there's ever a chance, like this was a good chance to maybe unsettle him. But tell me what you think, because for me, I would have liked to see him scrap a bit harder if I'm truly honest. But yeah, let me know. I would have liked to see him a bit more of a scrap. Or are you on that side of things where you're like, yeah, why would he? Who cares? Like, he's going to lose that one anyway. Come back and scrap in Mugello next time out. Better make sure the next race actually is Mugello, because I've been mentioning it quite a lot. Yeah, it is. Okay, so let's move in, as we talk about results, let's move into quickly into the All Japan Cup. Play the graphic. Joan Mir's won his first ever All Japan Cup. I'm trying to rack my brain to last season. Was he ever top finisher? I can't imagine he would have been. Maybe on a weird day he got one. But anyway, it's doubled his points tally for the season. Rin's in second, so a bit of a throwback for the Suzuki boys. This is how they used to finish all the time, but in the actual Grand Prix, first and second. We'll say all the time. They used to be around the podium a lot. They didn't really win that many races. Rin's more than Mir, but, maybe we've just reversed the order. Augusto Fernandez has come third in that, beating out on track the two Pramac boys. So Jack Miller fourth. It's a great performance from Augusto Fernandez. I thought he had a good weekend. Put himself in the shop window there. It's a strange career though, isn't it? Just to go from Moto2 world champion to hot prospect to I'm a test rider now for the rest of my career. Strange one. Okay, that's annoying. I just had to run out of space on the memory card. I delete a few bits. Right, where was I? Augusto Fernandez did well. Jack fourth, Miguel Oliveira fifth, Chantra sixth. No one else finished. Fabio and Zarco both DNF'd. And Marini didn't start the race due to an injury. Picked up. Where was he? Testing for an endurance race? Some kind of superbike, I want to say. Is that a thing that happened? I feel like it did. But yeah. So the standings are as thus. Zarco remains on 54 points and in the lead. Marini second, still on 30 points. Jack Miller 27, Rins 25, Fabio 23. Mir goes to 20. Like I said, he's doubled his points tally. So he was only on 10 points coming into this weekend. Augusto Fernandez goes to 8 points. Very impressive. Miguel Oliveira 6, Taka Nakagami 6, Chantra 4, Aleix Espargaro 4. Chantra got another point. Slowly getting there. Okay, let's talk fantasy quickly. Let's see how I did this week. I think I did all right because I boosted Marc. Actually, the curse is broken, ladies and gentlemen. The curse is broken. I boosted Marc and he did exactly what I wanted him to do. Now, slight little bit of curse still involved, as in I brought Zarco in and he has not finished. But I really should have gone with, I think I could have afforded Morbidelli or something, and I don't know why I didn't do that. Just got caught up in the vibes, the Zarco vibes. Oh, Johan Zarco, I forgot to call him that. Anyway, got caught up in the Zarco vibes, and here we are. So how did I score? I've gone up in the rankings using my last boost there. So I got 229 points. I think that's a good boosted round. It's a good boosted round. And when we look at the top 10, it looks like there's another couple of boosts in there for Kudo Racing and maybe Team Motosexual Wes and Shifty. They look like boost pizza. They look like boost scores to me. So I'm kind of around that. Could have done better. Obviously, they're maximizing a bit more moto timing and everyone. But that's your top 10. I've gone to 26. So look, I'm happy with that for now. If I can maintain in there and try and get myself in the top 20 of this league, I'd be happy at the end of the season, considering how everything's gone against us. But JJD80, seeing off at least one of the boosters this week to remain top after a boost is played. So it's just the guys who's close enough with a boost left in the top 10. They're the guys you'll be looking out for, but in a good, strong position at the moment. Okay, so that's fantasy done. Moto 2, this was great. It was good to see a good old-fashioned duel, wasn't it? And then like a tight pip him on the line deal. Dennis Onchu's a race winner in Moto 2. What a race. A proper duel. And I was happy to see it. Reminded me of the old school duels and stuff like that. We don't see it that much anymore. I'm not saying we never see it, but we don't see it as much as we used to. It felt like, I mean, it could be your mind maybe only registers the good stuff, doesn't it? And maybe you forget where it was boring, but it seems to me that of all classes, we do get less of that duel. Like even if we do get a good race, sometimes it's not the real duel. Like we were getting him maybe with Bastianini was near the front. He would get himself involved in a couple of those, wouldn't he? And Dovey and Marc were doing them every other week. But really, other than that, there's not much else going on. You could get good races, but in other ways. But yeah, good old-fashioned duel. Really liked it. And just quickly touching on another couple of guys. Barry Baltus is really like an actual threat now, is he not? And Canet, you'd be like, oh, the year I could have just used not my teammate finishing in front of me. It's starting to happen quite a bit. But Yeah, nice little salvo ride from Ramirez, but an even better salvo ride from Center Aegis to come fourth. The kid's got a bit about him. He's still one of the youngest guys in that field, I want to say. There's something there. I don't want to get too excited too early, but there's something there. But Dennis Onchu, well done. What a race. And he's starting to finally find his feet. Finally find his feet in Moto 2. So good to see. It's not completely random anymore because he's been near the front a couple of times now and then to perform that like he did there. I mean, the only other thing I was thinking when they come around that last corner, if I'm remembering correctly, could Moreira have run him a touch wider? He was a bit too respectful maybe. But he just didn't have the grip that Onchu had at the end, so it was always on the cards. Moto 3, let me rack my brain. Oh, David Munoz won, didn't he? And a great cheer went up amongst the people of Aragon as David Munoz managed to not send someone to the Shadow Realm. And maybe he'll learn from this in that it's his first race win, and it's one of the first times he's not got himself involved in nonsense. Maybe he'll look there and go, how many races could I have won in my life if I didn't get myself involved in just bullshit on the track and get my elbows out for no reason a lot of the time and taking ridiculous lunges? Is this the turning point for David Munoz? Now, it is fair to say we're probably all hoping Quiles won that, just as a collective MotoGP community, but fair play to him. He kept his nose clean and he won the race. And another tight finish. This was great. Another really good race. Carpe was good. Almanza, they threatened to break away those four at one point, but then Lunetta sort of brought the pack back up, didn't he? That was pretty early on, though. Piqueras, Kelso never really got going, and Rueda was going for a little while and then stopped going and got beat up a little bit, which you don't see very often with him this season. He usually, once he gets in a position like that, it's hard to sort of get him out of it, but good results for Cormac Buchanan. The Irish-sounding Kiwi has picked up a top 10. Good lad. What else happened here? That's about it. All right. Well, I told you it was going to be a quick one this week. I just had to get through it. I need to get this done and out and move on to the next one. Anyway, I'll see you on the next one. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed. We only need 4 more just to do me a favour, right? Just come on, 4 more to get 800. 800 will be massive for us. So let's get there. All right. And I don't like asking for subscriptions. I rarely do it, but when we're this close, crack on, lads. Come on. All right. Thanks, guys. See you on the next one. Take it easy.